welcome to Education Closet on Demand. I'm founder and host Susan Riley, and welcome to our new digs, everybody. In 2015, Education Closet is truly committing to helping our audience with the questions that they ask us the most. So we receive hundreds of emails every single week asking us questions about arts integration in STEAM and how to implement this in schools. And we thought that this year what we'd really love to do is connect with our audience, to share those answers that we share in emails and phone calls with all of you, and to start a dialogue about this process, because it can be really challenging to think about integrating the arts when there are so many other priorities on our plates between Common Core and teacher evaluation. All of these different initiatives that have kind of taken the spotlight right now. We know that arts integration is good for our kids. We have research showing that, but how do we do that when we have all of these other priorities? So this year, we're going to be offering a video series where we're answering questions that we receive from our audience every single week on this broadcast. So I kind of wanted to welcome you to our very first episode of 2015. And in this episode, we're going to be taking a look at what is arts integration, what is the difference between that and arts enhancement, and kind of the ins and outs of arts integration a bit, because this is where our true focus and passion lies at Ed Closet. So let's talk about that a little bit. Arts enhancement there's nothing wrong with arts enhancement. First of all, let me start with that. I love when teachers are using arts enhancement because it means that students are having another experience in the arts. That's fantastic, and I so applaud those of you who are using that. And let me give you an example of what arts enhancement looks like, and see if you recognize this. If you're trying to get your students to memorize the names of the 50 states, you might think to ask the music teacher, hey, could you teach them the song 50 Nifty United States? Because I bet you that will help them memorize the names of the states. And absolutely it does. That is arts enhancement. We're utilizing the arts to help teach something else. However, the difference between arts enhancement and arts integration is the connection to standards. So in arts integration, the focus is on truly looking for two standards, one from the arts discipline and one from the other content area, that naturally make a connection. And then working through that, teaching both standards and assessing both equitably. So what the heck does that all mean? In plain English, what does that mean? So an example of an arts integrated lesson would be if we were taking a look at fractions and music. So often we hear that they go hand in hand, but let's take a look at that. If I were to take a look at a math standard, second or third grade, taking a look at a standard focused specifically about fractions, part to whole, what that looks like. I would then maybe take a look at my music standards where we're identifying rhythms and being able to break apart and understand the difference between a quarter note, a whole note, a half note, and how they all work together within a measure. So within a specific period of time, how can you divide time with sound, essentially? So I could take a look at those two standards. They work beautifully together, naturally align, and develop a lesson plan that could highlight both of those areas and teach them simultaneously. So that the art is not in service to the content area, but instead both are being taught at the same time. So if I were taking a look at that, a lesson that I've done before is having students perform quarter notes, eighth notes, half notes, and whole notes together. We just kind of play them. We might use a boom whacker, I might use hand claps, something very simple that the classroom teacher does not have to have knowledge in. And then have my students kind of play those. And the key to arts integration is that the students already have the skill to work that they understand in their mind. So for that lesson to work, I will have had to have taught, as a music teacher, I would have had to have taught them half notes, whole notes, quarter notes, and eighth notes, and we would have had to perform that in my music class first. Once my students have that skill, the classroom teacher can then have them use that and play those things, and then assign a fraction to each of those. Okay, so if we were to assign a fraction to a half note, what would that look like? Then have students play each fraction and then backwards map that. So instead of writing 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1, show half note, whole note, so that they understand part to whole, which is what you're really looking for. And then my assessment could be that they can perform and write both a sentence with a fraction in number form and the same sentence in music notation. So I can see both sides. There's a very big difference between that and having students use a song to memorize a set of words or numbers or anything that we're trying to get them to remember. Certainly there's nothing wrong with that arts enhancement, and in fact, it does help our students, and we know that that works. But to go deeper, to truly make a meaningful lesson that students understand both pieces of content discreetly and together, we have to align the standards. So that's really the difference between arts integration and arts enhancement. So why would we even use arts integration if arts enhancement is so much easier, right? Because arts integration truly does, it's what makes the difference for students, for so many of them. It is their access point. It is what they truly connect with. And by utilizing the skills that they've already learned in their arts classes and embedding them in a lesson in a very purposeful way, we are causing our students, we're giving them the opportunity to use something that is their access point to learn something that is out of their realm and to truly make it meaningful and personal to them. So that's the difference between arts enhancement and arts integration. And so often we get so many questions about that because arts teachers are always nervous that when administrators or decision makers hear arts integration, that they think of budget cuts. That means that if they're going to utilize arts integration, that they don't need the arts educator because students are learning the arts in their classroom. And that is a valid fear, but I'm here to tell you that arts integration does not work if you don't have a strong arts program. I truly believe that, and we've kind of gone over that again and again, kind of had this conversation with so many of our audience members and with school districts that kind of struggle with that. But I am a true believer that if you do not have that strong arts base, then the arts integration isn't going to work because number one, your classroom teacher isn't going to feel comfortable teaching the arts standard without that arts educator to be able to help them understand what students already know and are able to do. Secondly, so the intimidation factor for a classroom teacher is very strong. Secondly, without that arts skill background, students aren't going to be able to use the arts because they will not have had experience in it in and of itself for the art's sake. So arts integration can happen anywhere. It can happen in the arts classroom, it can happen in the classroom, but it is most effective when arts integration happens in the classroom setting and the arts educators can focus on purely teaching the arts skills, concepts, and processes that are unique to their arts area. So I hope that kind of gives you a broad understanding of what arts integration is. We'd love to hear your comments. Are you using arts integration? Are you using arts enhancement? Do you still have questions about the difference between them? Leave us a comment below, let us know, and let's continue this dialogue. And then next week we'll be back with a brand new episode. I can't wait. I'm so excited for you to join us this year on Education Closet On Demand. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.